welcome to my podcast. This is episode number 9. My name's Caroline and I'm coming to you from Leicestershire in the United Kingdom. It's Friday the 7th of December, and when I started recording this it was really wet and gloomy outside, but the sun's come out, which is lovely, so I'm really happy about that. Sunshine always makes things better, doesn't it? Let's get some podmin out the way. I am Caroline Love to Sew on Instagram and Ravelry, and I have a shop where I sell my makes. I make notions pouches, project bags, I sell hand balm and enamel pins. I think that's it at the minute. So my website is Love to Sew by C. So links to all of those things will be in my in the box down below. Okay. Well, it has been a really long time since, well, it seems like it's a really long time since I last recorded a podcast. Of course, Helen was with me then, but she's not today. She's a busy girl. She's at work today. We're hoping to record another podcast before Christmas, so that should be good fun. There'll be lots of giggles, I'm sure, knowing Helen. Yeah, I've had a lot to deal with in the last couple of months. I've had bad news. We've had the death in the family. A family pet has died. I've had a funeral to go to, obviously. It's just been one thing after another. My mum's sister had a stroke. My gorgeous cousin who lives in Canada, who's only in his 30s, has been diagnosed with terminal cancer. My partner's father passed away only a few weeks ago. So we've just had so much to deal with, and all this news came at the same time. So it was such a shock. I've been quiet on Instagram because I just really haven't been in the right frame of mind to post anything. I've had the odd day here and there where it's been a good day, but there's been a lot of difficult days, as you can imagine. But the funeral was earlier this week, and we're trying to move on and get a little bit of normality back. And then to top it all, as I said, we lost a family pet. One of my guinea pigs died on Wednesday, so oh, it's all been happening. Anyway, you're not here to hear about all that, you're here to hear about my knitting. So I'm going to talk to you about my finished things first. So as you can see, I'm wearing one of my finished things, which is this beautiful wrap. I'm going to just stand up and show you. This is my Second Avenue wrap by Amy Miller. It's just beautiful. I did finish it a while ago, but obviously because I haven't been posting on Instagram and podcasting much recently, I haven't been able to show you. So this is the pattern. As I say, it's the Second Avenue wrap by Amy Miller, and it's absolutely beautiful. So the pattern calls for a merino cashmere nylon yarn and a 4mm needle. Now I did actually start making, this is my second attempt because I started to make my first one on the 4mm needles, and it was knitting up really big. I got to about, let me see, probably, obviously I cast on, and I got to about halfway up with the stripes, and it was so wide and so thick, and I knew I wouldn't wear it because I can't wear stuff that makes me really hot around my neck. It just really annoys me, and it's just too much bulk for me. So I thought, there's no way I'm going to wear this. So I had to revisit my stash, and I pulled out these beautiful wool barn yarns, and to be quite honest with you, I'm really happy that I did, because I went down to a 3mm needle because the yarn is not as thick as the original yarn. This is a Superwash Merino nylon smooth sock. It's Maya's smooth sock 4-ply. And so I needed to go down a needle size, which I did, and it's just absolutely perfect. I really love it. So the colours I've used are, let's see. So let me just see, we've got Sand, which is this one. We've got Sage, which is the green and the stripe, and also the green here. This lovely section. I'm not going to take it off because I'll just make a mess putting it back on and probably catch on fire with the candles. And then we've got Belle Epoque, which is this beautiful deep pink here. I love this colour. And this lovely eyelet section. Then Flutter is this one, this pale pink. And then, this, I think this is my favourite section actually. This is Flutter and Walnut. I love it. It did take a while to make, to knit, but it was a really pleasing knit. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm thrilled with it. I just love the fact that she's got all these little details. This is a lovely edge to start with. Really happy with that. And that's Walnut. That's the same as the stripe there. And then I can't remember which colour it was that you're supposed to use. I think it was this colour that you're supposed to use at the end for this little picot bind off. But the pink and the sand next to each other were just too pale, so I thought, well, I'll use this lovely pink that I really like instead. And I think it's worked out really nicely. I'm so happy with it, I really am. Beautiful. So I highly recommend it. I've dropped the pack on the floor. I'll just leave it there. So, right, and now then, what else have I got to show you? Let's just tidy those up. I have to be tidy, I can't help it. Otherwise I get myself into a right pickle. Okay, so, now then, I have 2 pairs of socks to show you, which I have finished, and these are, I didn't bring my sock blockers down, what a silly girl. These are a Christmas present for my best friend. She's very knit worthy, indeed, and I know that she will wear them. These are her favourite colours, well, some of her favourite colours. There's a pink, a green, a purple, and like a, what would you call that? It's not orange, it's like a coral pinky colour. Anyway, it's beautiful and I'm really happy with it. This was a self-striping yarn I got from down Sheepy Lane. I may have showed this on a previous podcast, I can't actually remember, but the yarn I mean. But yeah, I got it from Yarningham, and it was a 50-gram ball with a mini, so just enough to make a pair of socks. I've only got a little tiny bit left, I think. So I used a slip stitch heel, as you can see, and I don't know if you can actually see, but this has got a bit of sparkle in it, so that's really nice for Christmas, isn't it? And the toe is in the same yarn. Oh, the sun keeps going in and out, so it's changing the colour. Sorry about that. But yes, this is the umbrella toe, which I'm completely in love with. This is from Kay, who's Bryony Bears on Instagram. Is that right? Yes, Bryony Bears on Instagram and the Bakery Bears podcast. So yeah, I'm really happy with those. So hopefully she'll like those. I cast on 64 stitches and she's got the same size feet as me, so it's absolutely perfect. So hopefully they'll fit her really well. And I used a 2.25 9-inch circular needle. So that's her Christmas gift. And then, can you believe it? I've finished another pair for Christmas, for a Christmas present. So these are for my daughter. She doesn't watch my podcast. Well, certainly not when I first upload it, so I know I'll be safe. She won't see this probably till after Christmas anyway. So this yarn, let me just give you a close-up because it's so lovely. It's not they're not my colours at all. However, Hannah chose this. This is lovely. Look at that. It looks blue, but it's not. It's purple. No, it definitely looks quite blue, doesn't it? But I use the same for the cuff as well. It definitely looks blue, but it isn't. It's purple. I think there probably is a smidge of blue in there, but it's really a purple. So this is from... Oh, I didn't bring the tag down with me, did I? Did I? No. So this yarn is from Beehive Yarns, Beth at Beehive Yarns, and I bought this last Halloween. It was one of her Halloween colourways, which Hannah chose, and I started knitting it. But as you know, if you've been watching my podcasts for a while, I hadn't at that time been knitting very long. So I started it, I got down to about here. And then I stopped and went on to something else, as you do, get distracted, don't you? And I started knitting something else, and I started knitting something else. And it's just been languishing for so long. I had promised her them for her birthday, and then, which was April. Terrible mother. So I thought, right, you really need to get a wiggle on and get these done for Christmas, which I have, and I'm so happy that I have. The pattern is the Sugar Frost Socks pattern by Vanilla Wool. I've actually got the pattern here, so I'll show you. Vanilla Wool. Lovely Marianne. She posts the most beautiful pictures on Instagram of all her knitting. She's definitely worth following on Instagram. And her patterns are always gorgeous. So yes, that's those done. And I'm really chuffed with myself. Last year I did actually make a hat for my best friend. So this year she's getting socks. But this is the first thing I've knit for Hannah. And as you can see, they are, the colours in there are lots of greens and greys, little tiny specks of blue as well, and black. And Hannah chose these. I made her her bedroom she has lovely pale grey walls and dark grey blinds, Roman blinds that I made for her, and white furniture. So a while back I made her a quilt, and she chose the fabrics for those as well, and she went for greys and blacks, but also greens. So green is one of her favourite colours, hence the reason why she chose this yarn. So now she's got some socks to match her quilt. So hopefully she'll be happy with those. Like I said, again, I should have said, all the same thing, 64 stitches, 2.25mm needles, slip stitch heel and the umbrella toe. So yeah, which I'm addicted to. I love the look of the slip stitch heel, it's so neat, and the umbrella toe, I just think is fantastic, so I'm using it on all my socks at the moment. I'll just have a little drink. Do you know what, like I say, this is my 9th episode, but it doesn't get any easier. And I've been a little bit out of practice. I probably seem really unprofessional, but all the ums and so's and goodness knows what. There you go, another So let's have a sip of my tea. And we'll move on to what's on my needles. Now, I have obviously got quite a few things to show, but I'm not going to show them all this episode. So I'm going to just show you one pair of socks that is on my needles, and then I'll show you some more things next week when I'm with Helen. So these are my Strictly socks. Now I've only finished one sock, which is this one. Oh my goodness, just look at that gorgeous yarn, I love it. Right, there's lots of things to say about this. Oh, I'm really cross with myself I didn't bring my sock blockers down. Slip stitch heel again, umbrella toe again. Okay, what can I tell you about these? So, the Strictly Sock Along is run by Ali, gorgeous Ali, who's Starry Eyes Ali on Instagram, and she has a podcast called Little Drops of Wonderful, and I love it. She makes me laugh. She's such a lovely person, great personality, and she makes so many different things. She's so clever, all her lovely crochet and knitting. And each year she runs a sock along when Strictly Come Dancing is on. That's what we call it in the UK. I think it's Dancing with the Stars in the US, and it probably has other names elsewhere in Europe. I'm not entirely sure. But we call it Strictly Come Dancing. So these are the Strictly socks. And last year, again, because I'd not been knitting very long, I did try and join in, but I failed miserably. I got very frustrated and stopped what I was doing and started something else. But I'm a little bit more accomplished with sock knitting now, so I thought I'd give it a go this year. The pattern is the Cha-Cha Chevron socks, which has been designed especially for the knit along by lovely Sandra, who has the Cherry Heart podcast, and I think she's Sandra Cherry HRT on Instagram. Sorry if I've got that wrong, Sandra. I started off knitting it at the beginning of this series. I think it was the launch show, and you're supposed to cast on during the launch show, cast off, well, I was going to say, is it in the final? But of course then there's the Christmas special as well, so does that give you a little bit of leeway? I certainly hope so, because my second sock isn't finished yet, and I've got a bit of a way to go. I've done the leg, the heel, I've turned the heel, and now I'm onto the foot, so it shouldn't be too bad. So you can, the rules are that you knit during the during the show, or during It Takes Two, Strictly It Takes Two with Zoe, which is on every weekday evening. Sounds like I'm advertising, doesn't it? I'm not. That's on every evening for about half an hour, so you can knit during that time as well. And rule bending is encouraged. And some people come up with the most fantastic rule bending ideas. It's great. Mine this year, obviously, Simon's father lived in Wiltshire, so we've had a lot of toing and froing in the car, so I've done a lot of car knitting, mostly socks, which is really nice. I mean, not a nice reason to be in the car going to Wiltshire, however, nice to have the time to sit and knit for a little while. And Joe Sugg, one of the celebrities on Strictly this year, he, I believe, is from Laycock in Wiltshire. So my outstanding rule bending this year was that I was knitting them in the car on the way to Wiltshire and on the way back, and that's my tenuous link to Strictly. So yeah, now I've got to finish that one off. And oh, let me tell you about the yarn. Oh my goodness, this yarn is just beautiful. I can't remember if I've shown you before, and I've just dropped the ball band. Bear with. Look at this yarn, it's just beautiful. Can you see the sparkle in it? Gorgeous colour. And this is the mini. Gorgeous, love it. So this is also from Beehive Yarns. This is on her Barbarella base, which is merino, nylon and stellina. And it's her Rose Lichen, which is the main colour, and Cassis, which is the mini. Yeah, so really, really happy with that. In fact, this yarn I actually bought from Nottingham Yarn Expo in 2017. And I've only just pulled it out my stash to use, but I think it's perfect because it's beautiful colour and it's got the sparkle in it, which you have to have for Strictly Come Dancing, don't you? Okay. Alright, so I've got quite a few new things, so I've picked out 2 that I'd really like to share with you this time. I'll show you some more next week. The first one is something very small and sweet, which I wanted to show you. It's an enamel pin, which I bought from, actually, I didn't buy it at all. That's completely wrong. Start again. In the past, I have bought pins from this lady. I think I've shown you some on my podcast. And she is based in Australia. She's called Jodie Charlton, and she Rick Rack Sews on Instagram. I'll put the link below. Sorry, Jodie, I should have found that out. Does it say? Oh no, it does. She's Jodie Rick Rack on Instagram. Yeah. Anyway, she has an Etsy shop. And I bought something for someone for Christmas. Hope that's not giving too much away. And I had noticed that she'd had these fabulous pins in her shop, which I know has nothing to do with knitting or sewing. But I fell in love with it because I've got one and it's that colour. It's a KitchenAid, isn't it? And mine is pistachio. And I just thought, I've got to have that pin. And when I went back to, there's her details, pinpoints, Jodie Rickrack. So when I went back to her Etsy shop to buy it, she'd taken them down and I thought, oh. So I dropped her a note and she said that they weren't up to scratch, so she'd taken them down. And when I placed an order for a Christmas gift for someone else, and she popped this in as well. She said that she'd had a look through and found the one that she thought was the best of the bunch, and she sent it to me with my purchase. Isn't that kind? And I love it so much. So I just thought I'd share that with you because she's such a lovely lady and her pins are gorgeous. She has knitting related pins, crochet related pins, makers, you know, she has scissors and tape measures and all in gorgeous little pins. So yeah, this one really appealed to me, so I thought I'd get, I'm really happy that I've got that. And this is her card, which really made me laugh. It says, "Thank you, you're an ace banana." How funny is that? That really made me chuckle. So I wanted to share that one with you. So thank you, Jodie. I really love that. The other thing I wanted to share with you is related to Advent. So last year I was really envious of all the beautiful Advents that were being shown, yarn Advents that were being shown on Instagram. And I thought I really want to get in on the action this year. So I was really fortunate to be able to swap with 2 lovely yarn dyers. And they had my surprise Christmas box, and in fact one of them was involved in it. So if you know who that is, it's Craft House Magic. Ellie and I, hi Ellie, we worked together on the Christmas box. She dyed the most beautiful mini skeins to go in the, is it skeins or skeins? I don't know. To go in the in my Christmas box. I'm not going to show you those. I'll probably show them after Christmas because I don't know if the people who bought the box will have opened them yet, so I don't want to spoil the surprise. So I'll show you Ellie's Advent yarns next time I record, but this time I'm going to share with you the other one that I've got, and it is just beautiful. Honestly, I am so impressed and I feel so lucky to have done a swap. So the other Advent calendar that I have is from, sorry I keep looking over there because that's my notes. Oh, so professional, Caroline. Anyway, the other yarn Advent calendar that I have is from Sherry Iris. Sherry, who's Sherry Iris on Instagram. My lovely, lovely friend. She's just such a gorgeous person. She really is, inside and out. I love her. I'm so lucky to call her my friend. Honestly, she's lovely. Now, let's get the yarns to show you. Stop talking. So, I really hope that if you've got Sherry's Advent that you have already opened up to day 7, and if you haven't, look away now. But I'm just in love with these yarns in my little wire basket. So this was today, no, this was today's. I'm going to put them on my knee and show you close up. So this is, oh hello, where's the camera gone? There we go, this is today's. How beautiful is that? Now, I will just explain to you that, let me show you the box. So the yarns all came in this stunning box. Her presentation has just been amazing. I couldn't quite believe it when I opened it, and it's just so exciting. Look at that. How much hard work has gone into that? That is incredible. All these beautiful little bags, all numbered. Knowing Sherry, she's probably been made the bags as well. I mean, unbelievable. And inside, I can show you very slightly inside. Let me just put that back on the table before I drop it. Inside, can you see? There's a little parcel. So she's wrapped everything individually and she's put them in a bag, which she's probably made. Did you make them, Sherry? I bet you did. And tied them and stamped them. I mean, that is just amazing for presentation. Incredible. Well done, Sherry. You really are incredible. And also inside each one is a little, it tells you the colour of the, is that coming out backwards? Back to front? I don't know. Anyway, it has the colourway of the yarn and a little description underneath. So today's is Winter Berries, Bright Jewels in the Hedgerow. And that's this one that I've just shown you. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, Sherry, you're so clever. So, I can't remember the names of all of them. Oh, sun's gone in again. What's going on today with the weather? So there's that beautiful one. Isn't that stunning? That gorgeous, gorgeous one. This one, which is probably my favourite, I love it. Gosh, those greens, oh, gorgeous. Look at that. I think this one, was this one called Bonfire? No, I can't remember. But yeah, look at that one, isn't that lovely? And then this lovely one. And this gorgeous one. I think this one was called Robin, if I'm remembering it correctly. But yeah, they are all beautiful, and I can't wait to see what else is in that box. I don't know about you, but I just want to rip them all open now and see what's inside. So what do I do? What do I make with them? Do I make a pair of scrappy socks? Do I add them to, do I make a special blanket with them? I think they're 10 gram minis. Or do I add them to my Cozy Memories blanket? Oh, I don't know what to do with them yet. I possibly might wait until I've opened all of them and then I can make a decision. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with those. So thank you so much, Sherry. You really are amazing. Right, now then, I'm going to be hosting a CAL. How exciting! My first ever CAL, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. If you wouldn't mind me just very quickly talking about my shop. I have one or two things in the shop at the moment, so I'm just really quickly going to show you. Let me just get hold of those. Okay, so I have a couple of Notions pouches remaining. I have a couple of drawstring project bags. These are the ones with the pockets at the front, and the fabric on here is the same as the fabric at the top of the bag inside. There's my little stamp in there. So that's that one, and they're plain fabric on the back, pocket on the front. And then there's this one, which I'm really tempted to keep for myself, but you can't do that. These are all Tilda fabrics, which, as you know, I'm completely in love with and use most of the time when I'm not using Liberty. And that's the back. And again, pockets, and the top of the bag has the contrast fabric as well, same as that. So these are a nice size project bag for a sock project or a small shawl perhaps. I've definitely used them for a small shawl myself, and you can definitely fit them all in. There's this one, which is a large, it's bigger than my head, a large, not a drawstring, a zipped bag with a pocket inside, as you can see, which is this fabric for the pocket. Fully lined, as all my bags are, with a nice wadding to make them squidgy. And I have literally just made the patchwork, put it all together as I feel at the time, and they're different front and back, with linen at the bottom, and a little velvet ribbon for the zip. So that one's in my shop. And I have also, so they are ready to ship, the ones I've just shown you, and these, I have just popped a couple of listings in my shop for some of these. Now these are made to order. These are my Sybil the Sheep on the go bags. So they're a flat bag, no boxed bottom, with a pocket inside, with this same Liberty fabric. So that's little Sybil. I love that girl. Now, this was the fabric on the bags that I sold for my Christmas boxes. So what I have done is I have 4 lovely fabric options, which I'll probably show you individually actually. So there's that one, which is really lovely, like a ditzy print in different shades of red with little white flowers. I will show you this one, although this listing has sold because it's so pretty. Red and like an aqua blue and dark blue. It's lovely. Green leaves. I'm trying to go for like, not necessarily Christmas theme, but a winter theme. I love that one. I might make one for myself from that one. And then this lovely red. These are all Liberty, these 4. Sybil the Sheep is always a Liberty fabric. So yes, if they're available to purchase in my shop now on my website. I think I'll only leave, because of time restraints, I think I'll only leave them in the shop probably till Monday or maybe Tuesday next week. So that will be December the 11th, I think. Because obviously I need the time to make them. I'm going to be recording another podcast. I've got lots of other bits and pieces to do. Christmas time is just so busy, right? So that's that. And now I'm going to talk to you about my first ever cal. I'm so excited. My tea's got a bit cold, but I'm so thirsty. Right. So I'm hosting a knit along with lovely Emma from Eldenwood Craft. Hi Emma. Emma's talked about this in her recent episode on her podcast, which is Eldenwood Craft podcast, episode 19. So she talks about this. It's basically a simple cal to knit or crochet a hat, which we are going to be running during January 2019. The cal is called the New Year Warm Head Cal. There's only a few rules to abide by, really. We would like you to knit an adult size hat or 2 or more child hats. But basically you've got to use at least 50 grams of yarn. And as I say, one of the rules is to cast on and cast off, I guess, in January. And we will be drawing prizes from both the chatter threads and the finished object threads in Ravelry. So the chatter thread will be in my Ravelry group and the finished objects thread will be in Emma's Ravelry group. We haven't quite decided on prizes yet, but I would say there's probably going to be an Eldenwood Craft bag maybe, and a Love to Sew bag, and probably some other little bits and pieces. So hopefully you will be able to join in with us. By telling you now, we hope that you can have a little look at the pattern you might want to use and get some yarn together and your needles and everything else ready for the beginning of January. As I say, it can be a knitted hat or a crochet hat. We don't mind which, as long as you are happy to join in. That would be great. So looking forward to that. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later on a podcast closer to the time. So I think that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying Advent, and I'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye.